Hi guys, welcome to One Time Scrapers series, and today we're gonna write a simple scraper that would extract data from freeproxylist.net. As you can see here, we have a table of values with the IP address, port, country, etc. And you might wonder that it contains of several pages, but actually all these 300 entries are already kind of in this page. The reason why only up to 20 entries is displayed here is that's because here the jQuery module called data table is used, which renders all the amount of data with these portions of 20 elements per page, and that's why you can switch. You can kind of click on these pages and see all the data partially. Well, but I know that because I've already checked that. So from the terms of web scraping, we won't really need to crawl these pages, but we will need to make just a single HTTP GET request to get the HTML response from this particular endpoint here. So without further ado, let's jump in basically. We need to import some libraries here. The first one is called requests, which is needed to make HTTP GET requests to the given endpoint and to retrieve the HTML response, basically the text response. Then we need import the beautifulsoup, which is the library to parse that HTML response. So to import that, we need to type from BS4, which stands for beautifulsoup, for import beautifulsoup. Also, we'll need a module called tabulate to print the table to console, and also we'll need the CSV module to actually save the extracted data, the scraped data, to CSV file. And here is basically how the result is going to look like. That's from my tests. I'll just clear it for now, and I run python freeproxies.py, and everything imports correctly, and that's just great. So let's store the HTML response to the HTML variable, and we say requests get, and here we have to pass this address over here, and let's just make sure everything works correctly. So we need html.text. Oops. So here is our response here, and as you can see here we have this data, port names, somewhere it has to be things like the proxy itself, like proxies here and so on. And as you can see, this is just a simple HTML table with tr, th, and td tags, the regular tags for the HTML table. So let's start parsing the content. So first, let's parse the entire content. Beautifulsoup HTML. So we input this HTML string as the first argument, and then we specify the parser. I'm using LXML. Okay. And okay, let's check this out actually. Okay, it works, but this time it seems to be just like the same as previous, but this time it's already a kind of tree-like structure, so it's the parsed content. It's not just a bare string as the previous output. That's important. And now let's extract the table itself. So table is equal content.find find. I use the find function instead of find all because we need the very first element, and here are some tables on this site. Well, a couple more, but we really need the very first one. That's why the find method will return the very first table from this particular web page. So we need to extract the table tag, and let's print this as well. Okay, so now we see it's only the very first table that we need, which contains this addresses, etc. Now the table itself actually contains what is known tr tags, or table rows. So let's extract the rows, and the rows would be equal to table. This time we say find all and tr, and tr is rows. If I print the rows, it would be like almost the same output as if you just print the table. So now usually, and I say that because I already checked it out. So the very first row in the table contains tags which are known as th, or table header tags, and all the others have td, or table data tags. So if and the final function returns the list, so we can access this rows as the list, and I use the index of 0 to get the very first element. And here we see actually our column names. So IP address, port, code, country, etc. So here are the IP address, port, code, and so on. Okay, but we don't really need to store this tag. So we need to extract just the bare text, and to do this I'll use what is called list comprehension. So let's store the headers, rows 0, and now we enclose this into square brackets to return the list, and say the header.tags is what we need to extract. So for header in rows, so here we loop over the rows, over the very first row, over the elements, basically over the column names, and extract only the tags. So just to get rid of those nasty tags, and if you just print the headers here, we have exactly what we need. So exactly like these guys. And now we need to do absolutely the same, but for all the rest rows has to be processed. So let's basically do this. For row in rows, and also, well, let's first actually print this. So we want to print row find all, and now the td, which stands for table data. So this is an HTML tag, and if we print it now, then we have actually what we have in our table body here. Now let's do the same. We need to get rid of those nasty tags. So enclose this in square brackets to return the list, and we want only the text. So we need data, the text for data in rows find all td tags. Okay, so now we have really nicely structured data, and it's pretty a lot of here. It has to be really kind of 300s, and also here you can see that some empty arrays appear in here, so we will get rid of them a little bit later on. So okay, maybe just okay, I did import tabulate a bit wrong. Let's import this way from tabulate import all, and now let's print okay, no, not like this. We need to store the results to the array, and here instead of print we want the results dot append like this. And now let's print the pretty table. So I say tabulate and results, and here is to make the table. Here is probably won't see them on this table, or it's a bit too long, but still. And table format is equal to fancy grid. Tabulate supports many versions of tables. Okay, so now this looks pretty cool. And well, I can't see my scroll bar actually. Where's my scroll bar? Okay, doesn't matter. So okay, yeah. And now let's get rid of these nasty spaces. So we want to append the result only in case if row dot find all td is not none currently. Not sure. Let's just check this out. If we can get rid of, probably not. Okay. It's not. Okay, let's say if length of this is more than 0, maybe just even this would be enough. Okay, great. So we take only those, we append only those rows whose value is more than 0. So we just got rid of those nasty spaces. Okay, now the very last thing needed to be done is actually to store the results to the CSV file here. So let's write a file called proxies.csv. We want to open this file for write purposes, to write the file, not read. CSV file. And now we need to create a writer, which is equal CSV writer, and we pass this file name as an argument. In case when you want to write the list of lists to CSV file, this is enough. In case when you want to write the list of dictionaries, you have to use dict writer instead, but that would be the topic of some other videos basically. Okay, and now basically what we need here is writer write rows and results, and hopefully it works. Hope it works. Let's just quickly check this out. Okay, proxies.csv here. Okay, we don't have the headers. Okay, so to have the headers, to obtain the headers, well, there is probably some function like right here or something, but I know how that works with dict writer, not sure how it works with the casual writer, so I just append headers here as the very first element. And now proxies has headers, this file has headers, and at the very last, let's just try to open this in some sort of Excel-like program. Okay. So here it is, guys. IP address, port, code, country, anonymity, Google, HTTPS, last check, and the list. And as I promised, this is for about 300. Yes, it's 300 minus the header, so 300 entries here. It's exactly the same number as we have on this side over here. So this is it for this video. I hope you learned something from it and hope this was useful for you guys. So until the next one-time scrapper, and take care.